Have you ever found yourself trapped in a conversation that feels like a maze, where every path leads to more confusion, self-doubt, and exhaustion? Have you ever poured your heart out, trying to explain yourself to someone, only to end up feeling like you were the one in the wrong? If so, you're not alone. Many have walked this road, struggling to make sense of the chaos that a narcissist brings into their lives. But what if I told you that the key to winning this battle is not to fight at all? I know that dealing with a narcissist isn't just frustrating, it can feel like an unending war, one where the rules constantly change and where every moment of peace is shattered by yet another manipulation. It's a battle of words, of emotions, of constantly feeling like you have to defend yourself against accusations that twist reality itself. And after a while you start to wonder, am I the crazy one? Am I imagining this? Is it even possible to win? Let me assure you, you are not crazy. The exhaustion you feel is real. The confusion you experience is not because you lack clarity, but because you have been intentionally placed in a state of mental and emotional fog. Narcissists thrive on this. They gain power not through truth, but through deception, not through love, but through control. And the longer you engage with them, the more they feed on your energy, your reactions, your desperate attempts to make them see reason. But here's the truth. You don't have to play their game. You don't have to keep explaining yourself, keep defending yourself, keep trying to make them understand, because no amount of logic will work on someone who is not interested in the truth. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world." Perhaps this pain you are experiencing is a wake-up call, not to fight harder, but to step into a different kind of power, a power that does not come from proving yourself to the narcissist, but from reclaiming your peace in God. So how does a narcissist control you? It's not through strength. It's not even through intelligence. It's through your emotions. They provoke you. They manipulate your compassion. They distort reality until you feel like you have to fight just to be understood. But the moment you step out of this cycle, the moment you stop reacting, that is the moment their power begins to crumble. You might feel like you're trapped, like there's no way out, but that is another lie. You are not powerless. You do not have to keep engaging, keep justifying, keep trying to earn the approval of someone who refuses to give it. There is a way to break free, and it doesn't require you to fight. It requires you to stand firm in the truth of who you are in Christ. That's what we're going to explore today. 5 powerful ways to defeat a narcissist without ever fighting them. These aren't just survival tactics. These are spiritual weapons that will help you rise above the manipulation, the guilt, the constant emotional exhaustion. And as you apply them, you will begin to feel something you may not have felt in a long time. Peace. The kind of peace that Philippians 4:7 describes. The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you can change your life. The first step, becoming emotionally unavailable to the narcissist, because when they can no longer pull you into their chaos, they lose their greatest weapon against you. 1. Becoming emotionally unavailable. A narcissist's greatest weapon is not their words, their manipulation, or even their cruelty. It's your reaction. The more you engage, defend yourself, or try to prove your point, the more they thrive. Their power over you is rooted in your emotional investment in their tactics. Narcissists provoke to control. They know exactly how to push your buttons, whether through outright insults, passive-aggressive remarks, or by twisting your words to make you question yourself. Their goal is always to pull you into an emotional storm where they dominate the narrative, and you are left exhausted, confused, and doubting yourself. But here's the truth. You can take back control. not by fighting them, but by refusing to engage on their terms. Becoming emotionally unavailable is not about suppressing your emotions, but about mastering detachment. It means choosing when and how you respond, instead of allowing them to dictate your emotional state. How do you become emotionally unavailable? First, recognize that their words and actions do not define you. Narcissists are not reacting to who you truly are. They are projecting their own insecurities, fears, and wounds onto you. Once you see this, their words lose their power. When they insult you, resist the urge to react. When they gaslight you, refuse to be drawn into defending yourself. When they demand an argument, pause. Remind yourself, this is not my battle. Their reality is not my truth. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you have against a narcissist. They crave engagement, whether positive or negative. If they can make you angry, they win. If they can make you explain yourself repeatedly, they win. But when you refuse to engage, when you provide no reaction, you strip them of their power. This requires discipline. It takes pausing before responding, choosing neutral phrases instead of emotional rebuttals. Simple responses like, I hear what you're saying, or that's your opinion, allow you to disengage without giving them the emotional reaction they seek. Becoming emotionally unavailable also means establishing firm boundaries, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. A narcissist will test these boundaries. They will accuse you of being cold or heartless to manipulate you back into their web. But you do not need to explain or justify protecting your peace. Setting boundaries may look like limiting engagement. If they bombard you with messages or arguments, do not respond. If they escalate conflict, remove yourself from the conversation. Refusing to explain yourself, narcissists thrive on making you feel like you owe them an explanation. You do not. Reducing exposure. If possible, create physical and emotional distance from them. The less access they have to your emotions, the less power they hold over you. At the heart of emotional detachment is knowing who you are and refusing to let them rewrite your reality. A narcissist wants you to doubt yourself, to feel unstable, to question your worth. But you do not need their validation. When your peace is not dependent on their approval, their ability to manipulate you diminishes. True strength is not in fighting back, but in standing firm, unshaken by their words, untangled from their emotional traps. Today, make a decision. Take back control of your emotions. The moment you stop reacting, you reclaim your power. The moment you disengage, you break the cycle. If you've ever tried this approach, share your experience in the comments below. Let's support each other in this journey toward freedom. But emotional detachment alone is not enough. Once you control your reactions, the next step is standing firm in your faith and convictions so that no matter what they do, you remain unshaken. Let's talk about that next. 2. Standing firm in your convictions and faith. A narcissist is not interested in truth, they seek control. Their goal is not to understand, but to destabilize, confuse, and make you question your reality. They manipulate not by reason, but by creating chaos, making you doubt yourself until you become easier to control. This is why standing firm in your convictions is critical. If you do not root yourself in something stronger than their deception, you will find yourself caught in a cycle of self-doubt, constantly second-guessing your reality. The confusion they create is intentional, designed to weaken your resolve and draw you into endless debates where they dictate the terms. One of their most effective tools is gaslighting, twisting events, denying reality, and making you feel irrational for questioning them. They dismiss your emotions as overreactions, invalidate your concerns, and reframe the truth to suit their narrative. The more you try to explain, the deeper they pull you into their web. but you do not have to play their game. You do not have to defend what you know is true. You do not have to prove yourself to someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. You do not have to justify your boundaries to someone who refuses to respect them. How to stand firm against narcissistic manipulation. One of the most exhausting aspects of dealing with a narcissist is the endless emotional turmoil they create. They do not seek understanding or resolution. They seek control. Their tactics are designed to keep you in a state of reaction, constantly defending yourself, explaining and proving your worth, but you do not have to play their game. The key to standing firm is learning how to disengage from their manipulation while remaining rooted in truth and unwavering in faith. 1. Recognize the manipulation and refuse to engage. Narcissists provoke because they feed off your emotional energy. Whether it's an accusation, a passive-aggressive remark, or outright gaslighting, their goal is to pull you into a battle where they set the rules. Best response? Step back, stay silent, walk away. You do not need to justify yourself to someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. Jesus himself demonstrated this wisdom. When falsely accused before Pilate, he remained silent. Matthew 27:12-14. Not every attack requires a defense. When a narcissist tries to bait you into conflict, remember, silence is sometimes the loudest answer you can give. 2. Establish and reinforce boundaries. A narcissist will test your limits, pushing against your resolve, hoping you will fold under pressure. They may call you selfish for protecting your peace or accuse you of being too sensitive for refusing to tolerate their abuse. Do not let their words weaken your stance. Boundaries are not up for discussion. Once you decide on them, whether it's limiting contact, refusing to argue, or cutting off toxic communication, stand firm. Expect resistance, expect guilt-tripping, but do not waver. As Scripture reminds us, let your yes be yes, and your no, no, Matthew 5:37. Your boundaries are not an attack on them. They are a defense of your well-being. 3. Ground yourself in truth. A narcissist's greatest weapon is confusion. They twist facts, rewrite history, and manipulate emotions until you begin to question your own reality. But no matter how much they distort the truth, truth does not change. Instead of seeking validation from them, turn inward. Find security in what you know to be real. Your worth is not defined by their approval. Your reality is not subject to their deception. When their words make you doubt yourself, return to what is unchanging, God's truth. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. The more you anchor yourself in clarity, the less power their words will hold over you. 4th, let go of the need for closure. Perhaps the hardest truth to accept is that you will never get the closure you want from a narcissist. They do not seek resolution. They thrive on keeping conflicts open-ended, making you chase after an apology, an explanation, or an acknowledgement that will never come. But here's the secret. Closure is not something they give you. It's something you claim for yourself. True peace does not come from them admitting their wrongs. It comes from you deciding to walk away, reclaim your power, and move forward without their approval. So today, I challenge you. Refuse to let their chaos become your reality. Stand firm. Do not explain yourself. Do not argue. Do not wait for them to change. Instead, root yourself in the truth. Guard your peace. And trust that the freedom you seek does not come from them. It comes from God. A narcissist wants you entangled in their drama, constantly proving, explaining, and defending. But when you stand firm, when you refuse to be provoked, when you hold your boundaries, when you stop engaging in their battles, you strip them of their power. True strength is not found in fighting harder, but in remaining unshaken. The moment you step out of their game, the moment you stop reacting to their provocations, you take away the control they once held over you. So today, choose peace over provocation. Choose clarity over confusion. Choose stability over the chaos they create. Now, if you have ever struggled with standing firm in the face of manipulation, share your experience in the comments below. Let's support and encourage each other on this journey. But beyond standing firm, what if you could use the very traits of a narcissist against them without compromising your own integrity? Let's explore that next. 3. Using their weaknesses against them. A narcissist may appear strong, but in reality, they have critical weaknesses that you can use to your advantage. Narcissists project an image of power, confidence, and control. They appear untouchable, always in charge, always right. But beneath that carefully crafted exterior lies a fragile core, riddled with insecurities and deep fears. They are not nearly as strong as they seem. In fact, their entire persona is built on avoiding the very things they fear most: loss of control, loss of admiration, and public humiliation. And this is where your strength lies. Instead of confronting them head-on, which only fuels their need for dominance, you can use their own nature against them, not through manipulation or deceit, but through wisdom, discernment, and strategy. Jesus instructed us to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves in Matthew 10:16. This means learning how to deal with destructive people without becoming like them. A narcissist's greatest vulnerabilities lie in their deep-seated fears: losing control, public embarrassment, and being ignored. Their sense of superiority is built on the ability to manipulate others, shaping perceptions and emotions to maintain dominance. They thrive in chaos as long as they are the ones orchestrating it. But when they sense that control slipping, they panic. Equally, their carefully curated image is their most prized possession. They need to be seen as successful, admired, and always in charge. Any threat to their public persona, whether real or perceived, can send them into a defensive spiral. Perhaps their most unbearable fear, however, is irrelevance. A narcissist craves attention in any form. They would rather be hated than ignored. Silence wounds them more than any argument ever could. Understanding these weaknesses allows you to neutralize their influence, not by direct confrontation, but by using their own fears against them in a way that protects your peace and preserves your integrity. Can you turn a narcissist's own weaknesses into your greatest advantage without compromising your values? 1. Guide their actions by appealing to their self-image. Narcissists make decisions based on how it benefits their reputation. You can use this to subtly steer them toward better behavior. If you need them to do something that benefits you, frame it in a way that makes them look good. For example, instead of asking them to be fair, highlight how fairness will enhance their reputation. You're such a great leader. People respect you when you're just and fair. This decision will make you look really good in front of others. This is not manipulation. It is wisdom. You are not lying to them. You are simply speaking in a language they understand. 2. Maintain your boundaries. Without confrontation. Narcissists push boundaries because they expect people to give in. But you can enforce your boundaries without open confrontation, which is what they thrive on. Instead of arguing or explaining yourself, simply say, "I can't do that, but I appreciate your perspective. That's not going to work for me, but I hope you find a solution." By refusing to engage in conflict, you remain in control while denying them the emotional reaction they crave. 3. Use their fear of public perception to your advantage. Since narcissists fear being seen as weak or incompetent, they will often change their behavior, if they believe their public image is at risk, if they are treating you unfairly, subtly remind them how their actions might be perceived by others. For example, I'm sure you wouldn't want people to misunderstand your intentions. That decision might not reflect well on you. I wouldn't want people to get the wrong idea. This shifts their focus from controlling you to protecting their image, which makes them more likely to adjust their behavior. Use the power of indifference. A narcissist feeds off your attention, whether it's admiration or anger. The most powerful way to weaken their control is to starve them of the reaction they seek. When they provoke you, do not engage. When they try to manipulate you, act uninterested. When they demand attention, give them none. The moment they realize they cannot control your emotions, they lose their power over you. Using a narcissist's weaknesses against them is not about deceit, it's about wisdom. It's about recognizing how they operate and choosing to respond with strategy rather than emotion. It's about refusing to fight battles that do not need to be fought while standing firm in your truth. When you do this, you take back control, not just of your interactions, but of your mind, your emotions, and your peace. If you found this strategy helpful, share this message so others can benefit from it too. But sometimes the best way to disarm a narcissist is not through strategy, it's through standing firm in the truth without being pulled into endless debates. Let's explore that next. Fourth, stand in truth, not in the pursuit of victory. Not everyone is worthy of your explanation. The truth remains the truth, whether they acknowledge it or not. One of the most exhausting traps of dealing with a narcissist is the endless cycle of proving yourself. They twist conversations into power struggles where the goal is never understanding, it is dominance. Every discussion becomes a battleground, not for truth, but for control. The more you engage, defend, and explain, the more they manipulate the situation to keep you on the defensive. But here's a crucial truth. You do not need their validation. The truth exists independent of their approval, and your worth is not determined by their acknowledgement of it. Narcissists turn everything into a power game. A narcissist's goal is not resolution. It is to keep you caught in an argument that never ends. They will shift the goalposts. Every time you present facts, they change the topic. Use emotional baiting. They provoke you to react emotionally so they can dismiss your words as irrational. They gaslight you. They rewrite events to make you doubt yourself. Their strategy is simple. If they keep you explaining, they keep you under their control. But what if you refuse to play their game? How to stay rooted in truth without chasing their approval. 1. Stick to facts, not emotions. Narcissists thrive when they can get an emotional reaction out of you. The moment you become defensive, they gain control of the conversation. Instead of reacting emotionally, ground yourself in facts. Instead of saying, "You're being unfair," say, "This is what happened." Instead of saying, "I never said that," say, "Let's look at the record." Facts are stable, feelings can be manipulated, but the truth remains the truth. 2. Resist the urge to prove yourself. It is natural to want to defend your integrity, especially when someone misrepresents you. But a narcissist will never give you the validation you seek. They do not want to understand you, they want to exhaust you. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "The truth is, of course, that what one regards as interruptions are precisely one's real life. A narcissist is an interruption, but they do not have to consume your life. The moment you stop needing their recognition, you reclaim your power." 3. Choose peace over winning. A narcissist wants to pull you into a battle where the only way to win is to keep playing. But true victory is in stepping out of the fight altogether. Proverbs 26. 4 warns us, do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. You do not need to have the last word. You do not need to correct every lie they tell. Your peace is worth more than their acknowledgement. Reclaiming your power in truth. Standing firm in truth is not about proving yourself to the narcissist. It is about knowing who you are in Christ and refusing to be shaken. Your confidence does not come from their agreement. It comes from the unchanging foundation of God's truth. So today, choose peace over conflict. Choose clarity over confusion. Choose truth over validation. Save these principles so you can apply them whenever needed. But sometimes the wisest decision is not just to disengage, it is to walk away entirely, and that is what we will discuss next. 5. Knowing when to walk away. Not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes the greatest victory is found in walking away. There comes a point in dealing with a narcissist when you must ask yourself, is this battle worth my peace? Many people stay in toxic relationships believing they can change the narcissist with enough love, patience, or effort. But the truth is, staying too long in a battle that was never meant to be yours will cost you, not just emotionally, but spiritually. A narcissist does not seek resolution, they seek control. Their goal is to keep you engaged, drained, and doubting yourself. The longer you remain in their cycle of manipulation, the more they erode your confidence and weaken your faith. While setting boundaries can help for a time, there comes a moment when the healthiest, most God-honoring choice is to walk away. Recognizing when to walk away is an act of wisdom, not weakness. If every interaction with a narcissist leaves you feeling emotionally drained, mentally exhausted, and spiritually disconnected, then the cost of staying is far too high. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, but a narcissist disregards boundaries, constantly testing and twisting them to suit their own desires. Over time, prolonged exposure to their manipulation can erode your faith, making you question your worth, doubt your instincts, and feel distanced from God. If being in this relationship robs you of the peace He intends for you, it is a clear sign that you are not where you are meant to be. And when you've tried everything, communicating, setting boundaries, extending grace, yet the destructive cycle remains unchanged, you must accept the hard truth. They do not want to change. And if they refuse to change, it is not your burden to fix them. Walking away is not about giving up. It is about choosing to protect your well-being and trusting that God has something better for you. Once you recognize that it is time to leave, do so with clarity and conviction. Make a firm decision, leaving no room for negotiation, as a narcissist will try to manipulate you into staying. Cut off access where necessary, whether that means limiting communication or going completely no contact, to prevent them from continuing their control. Do not feel obligated to explain your decision. They will demand answers, argue, and attempt to pull you back, but you owe them no justification. Most importantly, lean on God for strength. Walking away is never easy, but you are not alone. True strength comes from trusting that God is leading you toward peace, healing, and the freedom He intends for you. True strength is choosing freedom over control, peace over conflict, and faith over fear. Walking away does not mean giving up. It means trusting that God has more for you. You are not meant to live in endless battles. Step forward in courage, knowing that the peace and healing you seek are ahead of you, not behind you. Throughout this journey, we have explored 5 powerful ways to break free from the influence of a narcissist without fighting them on their terms. 1. Becoming emotionally unavailable, detaching from their manipulation and refusing to react emotionally. 2. Standing firm in your convictions, not allowing them to shake your reality or draw you into meaningless battles. 3. using their weaknesses against them, understanding their fears, and leveraging them to protect yourself. 4. Holding on to truth instead of chasing victory, staying rooted in fact rather than seeking their validation. 5. Knowing when to walk away, recognizing when staying is harming your spirit, and choosing to step into the peace God has for you. Through it all, remember this: you are not alone. God is with you in this battle. No matter how isolating the experience may feel, His strength upholds you, His wisdom guides you, and His peace is always available to you. If this message has helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so that others can receive the same encouragement and hope. And finally, true victory is not about defeating the narcissist. It's about refusing to let them control you. Stand firm, walk in faith, and claim the freedom that was always meant to be yours.